on? The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Salute! What's going on? All you scallywags, nutmeggers, and you know better, all you veterans out there. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080, and we're going to spend the day celebrating you the entire day, whether you're off duty today, if you're on the job, off the job, if you're driving. The show is about you. It is about your family members. So I want to do something that's important today because, again, you know, I know Sunday they had all the parades and everything, but it's Tuesday. It's one of those news days where, you know, you could do the whole news and the rant and raving stuff, but you guys deserve the respect today, and I'm going to give it to you today. I want you to call in, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. If you are a veteran, if you are the family member of a veteran, if you are a child of a veteran, and you want to call in and you want to show that veteran that respect, get on the lines. You are getting on today. And, you know, I was thinking about what my opening monologue should be. Should I talk about my grandfather? Should I talk about my grandmother? Should I talk about my uncles? Should I talk about my aunt? All of them served. And my mom, being the hippie chick that she was, did not want her children in the military. And I did not go, yes, and that's sometimes it is shameful. I'm not going to lie. I think about it sometimes. I'll tell you, can I tell you the cringiest story? And it happens a lot. This is not a story I ever get away from because it happens every time. And it just sucks. And I feel bad about it. And it happened at Friendly Hands Food Bank just yesterday. A man walks up to me at Friendly Hands Food Bank, nice enough man. He's wearing a veteran's shirt, a veteran's hat, I apologize, baseball cap. And he was helping my wife and I park the car, telling us where to park. And in doing so, you know, as we pass by him, on the back of the car that we have is a sticker, veteran sticker. And, you know, there's one placard that says proud female veteran. But I guess he only saw the word veteran. So anyway, we park, we're there, we're helping out Karen and the staff at Friendly Hands. And as things started to, you know, motivate and things were getting going, everyone started talking and they had realized who I was. Oh, you're the Reese guy, blah, 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 blah. And this one man who helped us park walked up to him and he goes to shake my hand and he goes, "Hey, man, thank you guys for coming out." He goes, "Where'd you serve?" Oh, damn it. I hate it when he said it. I hated it when he asked because I knew that's where he read it. I knew instinctively the reason why he asked was because of that sticker on the car. And there's my wife standing there, all of about 5'8", probably a little shorter. And I have to turn to her and turn back to him and go, "No, sir. My wife served." And, you know, I know, look, the guys are going, "God, you must have felt awful." Yes, I do every time. Not because I didn't serve. It's because they immediately think I did. And do not even look to my wife. So I want to send out a special and personal plea to the women out there who have served. please call up. If you have a mom, if you have a sister, if you have a daughter, a significant other who has served and is serving, I want you to give them a shout out as well, or to hear from you as well. It happens all the time. And I know it's because I'm tall. I get it. I stand at attention. I get it. Some of my mannerisms, you get confused with, he sounds like a guy who was in the military. When I started up my moving company, every customer I had, what branch of the military? I'm like, sorry, none. Wow, you seem so military-like. I'm like, no, I'm afraid not. It's just from my upbringing. Come from a military family. It goes, and that's an important thing to point out, is that if you are in a military family, they bring all that stuff home with them. You know, I'll never forget the day that my mom, hippie chick, taught us how to make our beds. She did the whole quarter thing, you know, the bouncing of the quarter. Oh, goodness gracious. That woman, she didn't believe in the military. But she had to deal with it. That's how she was raised. From her mother, from her father. So that was in our lives every day. So on a day like this, I want you to show every one of your family members who have served the respect. I want you to show them the respect that they deserve on this day. And, you know, we'll tell all the stories and cover other news in the interim, but I don't care what part of the day is. I don't care what the subject is or the topic that we're talking about. I want you to show those folks some respect. We almost lost a great deal of our military over the last, 4 or 5 years. It was looking pretty hazy in what the military was turning into. What they were going to do to our young men and women who serve. You know, when they were doing that bogus report about racism and bigotry inside the ranks of our enlisted. That was a time during that administration that got me angry. Because there's a folklore. And I think it's very true. I don't think there's anything about it that's a mystery or untrue or fable for that matter. Something I grew up with knowing without ever having gone through it is what folks say about the foxhole. Nobody cares. You got my back? Yeah, I got your back. Yeah, good, I got yours. None of that stuff mattered, ever, because lives were on the line. People got right past that nonsense. There was no racial bigotry in my platoon. I'm sorry, I was immediately harking back to Full Metal Jacket. We do not look down on... That was always sort of like my understanding of being enlisted, about being in the military, that you had that guy's back. In fact, what's always been known about our enlisted men and women, it was the perfect melting pot. You met people from walks of life you've never experienced before. If you grew up on a farm with a population of 2,200, or you grew up in the big city with a population of 2 million, when the two of those folks got together, they found out things about themselves that they never knew. They found out things about their fellow men and women that they never knew, where they grew up, how they grew up, the values that they had. Now, all of those things meant nothing when they got into the military because there was a new world order inside them and they had to work together and they had to do PT together. They ate together, slept together. Those things are the things that mattered. And when they left, those men and women became brothers and sisters in arms. They looked at each other in a completely different way. All of that other stuff was gone. When they came back home and they saw somebody from a different background, be it social, economic, or racial, and they found that person had on the same uniform or maybe had a tattoo that each other could recognize, that sort of secret handshake, if you will. They recognized each other in a heartbeat and they just started talking about where they were from. What's your MOS? Where were you stationed? Laughing and joking at one another like they knew each other forever. I remember going to Fort Sam Houston with Roseanne. And I got to tell you, folks, I dreaded going there. I hate it. Talk about... It has nothing to do with being embarrassed. It had everything to do with being out of place. I'm a 6'3" hulking man. And there's my Lilliputious wife walking in there with these other hulking men having conversations about, what's your MOS? Where were you stationed? Where were this and that? Combat medic? Recon? And I'm sitting up there just going, so do you want Sbarro's or Wendy's? You want a strawberry banana smoothie or you just want to get water? No. You guys continue talking. I'm going to sit over here and feel emasculated. Yeah, so no, you guys go ahead. But it's interesting to watch, and my wife is in her element. And the words that come out of these folks' mouths, the way they talk to one another, it's like every second word is an F word. I'm sitting up there bashful and everything. I'm just like, sweetheart, can you say that word in public? But it's a certain, there's a certain person there. It's unlike anything you've ever experienced. And if you have family members who have come home and you heard the way that they talk and saw the way that they act and especially the way they communicate, and you say to yourself, like, what happened to that person? I don't mean, and by the way, in a disparaging way. But I'm just saying, you ask yourself, like, if you watch them when they grew up and then you see them when they come out and they come home and they're done and they've served and they're retired or even they're coming home for vacation and their behavior is just a certain way. They stand upright, they finish their meal in 15 seconds flat. That's an interesting thing. Watching my wife finish food before me is an interesting thing. It's just a certain way of life. And I don't think we respect it enough. Not all of us. I'm not, and those of you, you know what I always say, if it don't apply, let it fly. But a lot of us do not respect it enough. That's a volunteer job. For whatever reason. Hey, they're going to give them a college education. They still volunteer because should the stuff hit the fan, they're going. Some people have run out of opportunities in the thing we called life. Some of them didn't have any other option than to enlist, to volunteer. They got more out of it than they put into it. But should it hit the fan, they're going. It takes it takes a certain type of person to do that. That's why you have to respect it. We don't get the liberty of sitting idly by and mocking them for the work that they do or the service that they give. They earned it. They earned the right to be respected, especially on a day like today. So if you know someone, and again, like I said, you don't have to be enlisted. You don't have to have been a veteran. If you know somebody who's a veteran, if they passed on and you want to show them respect today, please do so today. Show them their love. And then mark it. You can go online and you can find it and you can send it to, to Pop or to Nana. And you can say, hey, I called Reese on the radio and I wanted to show Grandpa some respect. And you could take that little clip and you can play it. Play it for auntie. Play it for uncle. And let them know that you are showing them some respect. You have no idea how much they love that. To know that their work, their efforts, their service is being respected by you. That's what thank yous are all about. Who doesn't love a thank you? It's just the way I see it. When we come back, we got plenty of news, plenty of views. I got another environmental story I got hip to last night. We'll tell you a little bit of the details on that. We haven't finished the investigation, but apparently there are some environmental issues happening in Connecticut. Let's just say it ranks up there with like Erin Brockovich in some cases. We'll talk about that. I'll read your comments in the chat room. If you want to give a dedication there, you can do that as well. So stand by. More news, more views, and, of course, your dedications to the veterans in your life. Okay, when we return. Please, seriously, take the time. I mean it. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Call up the show. Show some respect. Show some love for those folks, whether you know them or not. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Got plenty of comments in the chat room on Veterans Day. Lori says that my husband is one of 6 kids, 5 boys, 1 girl, and some of them were the age impacted by the Vietnam conflict draft. Only his sister served as a Marine Corps veteran. She was stationed in Korea post-Vietnam as well. Polly says Japanese Americans served in World War II. Sam Walton made camps. And she says active war brings brotherhood. Jason says take it from a veteran. You rely on the guys you are with because the government owns you. And you do what they say regardless. You begin to rely on the people who are in the same situation as you. That is a very, very good point. Ricky Yu also says he wants to give a shout-out to his daughter, Maggie, his son-in-law, Brandon, his nephew, Brandon, and cousins, John and Megan. Thank you for your service, Ricky says, and we thank you for your service as well. Let's go to the phones. Mark is on the line. What's going on, big guy? You gave a great honor to, was it your dad? Oh, sorry. Hold on. I apologize. There you go. Yeah, you gave a great honor online to your dad. Was that who it was?
Yeah, and I hope people go on Mark from West Hartford. So I've been doing this a couple of years. Now that I'm on social media, thanks to Rudy in Florida.
Yeah.
He told me I would enjoy certain things. And you know what? I think I really appreciate getting to tell people or at least show people how proud I am. So two things. Tell me how fortunate and blessed I was to have men in my life, starting with my grandfather, my Italian immigrant grandfather served in the U.S. Army. I just posted on my Twitter account, Mark from West Hartford, I have his discharge papers from 1918.
Wow.
It's in calligraphy. He survived the Battle of Verdun. So those of you who know the history of that horrific gassing, I mean, he spoke 4 languages. He was just a great man. And my father, this one always blows me away because I kind of got mean with my mouth calling people beta males. But how many 16-year-olds do you know would join the Merchant Marines?
Yeah.
My father was 16. He left the house at 15. with the intent of making his way in there. This is a few years after Pearl Harbor, and, which affected a lot of young teenagers.
Yeah.
We're thinking of men when, in fact, a lot of the young boys turning into men.
Yeah.
And he was a man at 16, and I have his enlistment card, and I hope you go on and see it. And look at the determination on his face.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a good-looking guy. He looked like Colin Farrell.
Kill a commie for your mommy kind of thing. That was the mindset.
But can I leave you with one thing? I've been doing this for a number of years on WTIC, and people always come through. So a lot of people don't know what to do. Like, hey, it's Veterans Day. What do you do? How do you help out? So every day we should be honoring veterans, but we got Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have Hanukkah coming up. In Rocky Hill, and I'm going to take you up there, Reese, because you got to see this place. There's a domicile. There are veterans up there, men and women, some with young children. These people, when they end up there, it's not because it's a great place to retire or rehabilitate or rehab from drugs and alcohol. This is like, these are men and women at their worst, and there's this place up there that has a domicile, there's a hospital, there's housing.
Yeah.
And the one thing is there's a disconnect between the public because they don't really allow you to go in there and visit. They don't allow you to give, like, donations. But one thing you can do, and I've asked this year after year, send a card.
Yeah.
Maybe for Thanksgiving. Imagine if when they go to so there's a cafeteria where they all dine at. And what they do is if you address, and I'm not going to give it, listen, just look it up in Rocky Hill.
Yeah.
States Veterans Home. And you'll get the address. Send them a thank you card. Christmas is coming. Send a card just thanking them for their service. You're praying for them. You're thinking about them. And they put them out on a table. And let me tell you something. When they go in for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and there's 100 cards or more out there, and sometimes there's hundreds, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice gesture.
What an incredible gesture. That's an incredible gesture. And it's simple and it is effective. You're 100% right. I don't know one person who doesn't like a card showing gratitude. I don't know one person who doesn't.
When I bring you up there, Reese, we're going to hook you up with the commissioners, a new one up there. And I know you could do great things together up there to help these people. And again, these are veterans. And those of you who know that place up there, listen to me talk, you know what I'm talking about. Over the decades, they've been treated horribly. And finally, thank God, prayers were answered, and a lot of people got involved to get them the appropriate, respectful help that they deserve.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks again, brother.
My pleasure, man. Always. You got it. Let's go to Adam in East Hartford. How are you, sir?
Good. Thanks for taking my call, Reese. I really appreciate it. And,
my pleasure.
I'm an Air Force vet. I was in during peacetime. I was in from 1981 to 1985. I was in Germany for 2 years and Florida for a year and a half.
Wow. Germany's an incredible place. Did you come back with a wife?
No, but I'll tell you what, some airmen did, and some older sergeants did. But,
no, I still know guys who are coming back with wives when they get stationed in Germany.
But the only dangerous thing I did, but at least some people said, "Hey, you served."
Yeah.
The only dangerous thing I did, because some were in combat, I rode in the C-130 over the Swiss Alps.
Wow.
That was the bumpy ride.
Was that beautiful though?
It was very scenic.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine it anything less than that. But you know what? You served, and you served, what'd you say, 81 to 86?
No, 1981 to 1985, exactly.
1981 to 1985. Okay, well, let's consider this, Adam. You technically served during the Cold War, didn't you?
That's exactly right, yeah.
I mean, I don't know in more an idyllic time to be a service member than that. So, yeah, absolutely. Hats off to you, and thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, and have a great day, and I'll keep listening to the program.
You got it, boss man. God bless you. Let's go to Lori in Glastonbury. Hello, my dear.
Hey, Reese. Thanks for taking my call.
Always.
I want to shout out my grandfather who served in World War II in France, a friend of mine who served during Desert Storm, and a gentleman that I worked with recently in the capacity of my job who served in Afghanistan. And I wanted to recommend a book that I've read recently. It's called The Rifle by Andrew Biggio.
Okay.
And it is the story of World War II veterans. He takes a copy of the rifle that his uncle used in World War II, and he collects the stories of living World War II veterans and has them sign the rifle. And so it is a fascinating and heartbreaking collection of these men's stories, and I couldn't recommend the book enough. It really is a worthwhile read. It's called The Rifle by Andrew Keesha.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Lori, and a big shout out to you. We really appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Take care.
You got it. Lori in Glastonbury, as usual. Who is that from Gaines? Is that Rudy calling? Oh, is that White Mike? Now, White Mike, he's going to be talking about the stuff that's in the chat room, I'm not reading that. I'm not taking his call. Actually, White Mike is, I think rightly so. You are a veteran yourself, right?
I am a veteran.
That's right.
Thank you. From 88 to 92 during the Cold War, stationed on a nuclear missile base.
Wow.
What? Clean team on a nuclear missile base.
What do you ever miss it? Roseanne talks about missing service life, like being in the military. And I see it every time we go to a military base. The way she communicates with everyone else, she's like, because she said she calls it order. She loved the order that was there. Do you get that same sort of hankering?
Not at all, dude. What I did was just like having a regular job. I worked from 8 to 4, but there was extra nonsense stacked onto it. I didn't like anything about it. The military was run by inefficient people. There were a lot of unqualified people in positions.
She talks about that.
Just because they had to check a box. I didn't see any of this great racial cohesion when I was in. I saw everybody off with their own group, except for black dudes trying to sleep with 18-year-old naive white girls.
Wait a minute, where were you stationed?
I was at Francis E. Warren in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Cheyenne, Wyoming. I don't even think. Yeah. I don't even think I've ever.
And when the brothers landed there, it was naive white girl smorgasbord. But it was okay, but there's so much dumb stuff, and it's an imposition on your life, and they treat you like property. There was very little respect. Oh, and yes, some black dude stole my bicycle.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about in the chat room. But wait a minute, Mike, you know what's so funny? That everything you just described, without a doubt, and I know you don't sugarcoat anything. I heard Roseanne and others, like in fact, there's this YouTube page where these guys in the, sort of very young enlisted folks are asked, why did you join? And some of them say things like, oh, because I was stupid, or, oh, I thought I'd see the world. And it's very like a very complaining sort of like video. Anyway, so I look at Roseanne and I are watching it, and Roseanne's like, yep. I was like, but wait a minute. How can you do both? Like, you talk about it like you miss it, but there's other parts that you seem to dislike about it. And she goes, both can be true. Does that make sense to you?
The best thing about it, if you're a young person living in the dorms, because Air Force had dorm, not Barrett, so we're bougie.
Right.
Is there's always somebody around to do something with.
Yeah.
That's the upside. You can go 2 doors down and knock and have somebody to hang out with. But you have no freedom. You have no liberty. You are subject to the whims of every moron who may have you. And if you're unlucky like me, you get to your permanent duty station and your direct supervisor is a black woman staff sergeant from New Jersey. It was hell.
And she was probably taking out every grievance she ever had on you.
One thing I noticed funny at the time, every black staff sergeant drove a Saab 900.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, apparently that was the thing. They were all driving Saab. Like the whitest white guy car ever. All the brothers.
The Saab. I'm not going to lie. Yes, the Saab without a doubt. But I grew up in my neighborhood in Hollis, Queens. Well, it was more like Jamaica Estates, kind of Hollis, Queens area. Yeah, there were a lot of Saabs in our area, too. The only reason why I know that car is because of my neighborhood. There was a lot of people with Saabs.
to be honest, if you're 18 years old and you go into it with the right mindset, like you're going to get some cool job, or you want to do real cool military stuff, like be infantry or got to be special operations, do it. If you can go Space Force, get a good tech job, do it.
Yeah.
Just want to get 4 years to straighten your head out and get the GI Bill, fine. But don't go into it thinking it's going to be fun, because a lot of it sucks. And I would never, if I had a daughter, let her join the military at all, because you're throwing her into a pit of hungry wolves, and bad things going to happen to her.
I've heard that's a matter of opinion, because I've spoken to a lot of fathers who are very, very proud of their daughters who go in. So I'm taking that one with a grain of salt.
Well,
but
yes, and they know that their daughters are like the town bicycle when they get there.
Goodbye. He's the worst person alive when it comes to certain things. But
I'm going to disagree with that, because my little sister was in there, and she's a hardcore. She don't play around like
I
that.
know, so there are a lot of people who love it. Mike is very jaded about everything.
She don't play around with
White
guys
Mike.
And stuff like that. So.
He is the most jaded person about
She did her 21 years and retired.
I know a lot of people, especially women, who, swear by the military. And you know what never mind. I'm not even going to say what he's going to say. When we come back, we'll take more of your phone calls. We'll talk about this some more. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Let me get to Fred, who's in Middletown. How are you, sir? You know what, Fred? I totally forgot what you looked like, and we did meet at the holiday store in Avon a couple of years back.
No, I did not make it to Avon.
You did? That wasn't you? I'm almost certain.
No.
Mark showed a picture of you with a hat on, and I'm almost certain that you and I met.
I'm rocking some doppelganger, dude. By the by, I got an official look. I didn't make it to Avon. I wish I could have.
Oh, wow.
My girl Jen couldn't get me out there. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. All right. Nonetheless, what's got going on, sir?
Well, the original prompt for my call was to say that the original prompt for Armistice Day, 11/11/11, was let's remember not to do this again. The Great War, a.k.a. the war to end all wars.
That's right.
Instead, it's been perverted into remember the heroism, the courage, and the sacrifice, and be ready to step up when it's your turn to honor those who sacrificed. Yeah, they completely flipped it. I think White Mike, until his last one-liner there, I think White Mike was spitting gold on the military. I've heard mostly.
He says the same thing that my wife says, and I always ask her, how can both be true? And she goes, they can be. Because, again, what she views the military as, and I think Mike will probably, as he kind of said, is that it's the camaraderie between the men and women in uniform. It's not so much about, staff sergeants and the military brass and all that other stuff. They say what they say about the military brass, but they talk about the men and women they serve with in glowing terms. It's never, those people that they're disparaging.
Even if you never go anywhere near combat, it's still like a much higher stress situation than most civilians ever encounter, I think. In other words, you can get slapped around. I mean, not so much now. But back in the day, I read a book called Violence in the Marine Corps, See Paris Island and Die.
Wow.
About and I have had buddies, I'm 70, who were in the Vietnam era. And then by the by, you have a dentist who's training on you. Oh, and I also wanted to say this. I almost went in 3 times in response to homelessness.
Okay.
And I'm so glad I didn't, just based on what I now know about vaccines.
Gotcha.
Oh, my God. You are some kind of pincushion, and they give you a whole bunch of them, and you're kind of on your back for 3
Roseanne
days.
talks about that at length. She sure does.
Dude, and I'll stop there because I'm not Peter McCullough, who you should try to get on, by the way.
Yeah, I'm working on him.
No kidding. God bless you.
Hey, come on, man. It's my job. You are
the man. As far as what you're doing right, you're really doing it right.
Thank you, sir.
And about that Full Metal Jacket, ultimately that was military propaganda. That real DI guy, he did a lot of pro-military stuff. He'd show you.
You're talking about Early.
Emery.
Emery, that's his name. Emery, that's right. Emery. Yes, he was a very, very pro-military actor. And, they said that doesn't he say he improvised most of that through his experience?
I'm sure they didn't have to write it down for him. He could do that in his sleep. And I love the scene where Pork Chop or whatever it was takes him out, lard ass. You're
talking about Private Pyle.
Yeah, a pile.
How do you like that scene? That scene still makes me sad. I loved the sergeant in that movie. Everybody says he deserved it. I'm sorry. He was that movie. I almost didn't watch the second half after that.
And I would watch it just for that. And I want to close with a public service announcement.
Yes, sir.
It's happening all the time. I never had a license. I don't drive. I'm anti-mechanical. But I know that you should warm up your car at least 10 seconds, even if it's an electric, and better like a half a minute, a minute. They say the new one's not so. No, you got to warm.
Yeah, you got to warm up your car. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I see everyone get in their car and they're gone. I want to yell at them. All right.
Yeah, thank you, boss. You got it.
Bye-bye.
Last but not least, let me take Jim in Waterbury before we take a break. How are you, sir?
Hey, Reese. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Good. My favorite nephew took me out for Veterans Day. He does every year. Yeah. So I wore my Marine Corps sweatshirt yesterday because I'm a Marine, and I wore my Army sweatshirt today because I was in the Army.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for your service 2 times.
My nephew come over. He's reading some letters I wrote from Vietnam.
Okay.
When we were in combat, some of the stuff there, he was laughing. He says, they really sent that through? It wasn't sent. I said, no, they didn't censor it back then. I mailed it home. Now, my father was in combat in World War II, so I know he understood it, but my poor mother, if she read it, well, she was a Christian girl.
You know what? Can I ask you real quick, if you can, in 30 seconds? Yeah. Did you recognize the guy in those letters?
No, because it was 50-some years ago.
Wow.
I don't like that anymore.
I hear you. I wondered if that was, you felt like you were sort of an out-of-body experience, but I can only imagine it had to have been.
Yeah, I was a Catholic, but I wasn't a Christian.
I hear you. Thank you so much.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you, man. And thank you for your service, and thank you for your
You're
call.
welcome.
Thank you. You got it, sir. Let's take a break. We got news coming up with John Silva. I'm sure he's got plenty of things going on in the country and, of course, around here. We're back. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
No headlines. It is a holiday today, so we're just going to do things a little differently. Because, of course, a lot of you are just celebrating and you're out with your family. And you're probably at home. You're not in your cars as much. We'll get that. Hey, by the way, did we I don't know if you found out. Are we still having any online issues with like the call-in for the for traffic and weather? Do you know anything about that? We're back up and running? Okay. All right. So I was worried about that because I meant to ask you about it earlier. And for some odd reason, I just slipped my mind. So I get a message last night from a listener, and I'll just give the first name of the individual. I don't think they didn't say anything about saying their name or anything like that. So I just want to give them at least their props for bringing the information to my attention. Young lady's name is Jasmine, and she sent me a text and said that she had some info that I would be interested in. In fact, it went like this. She says, hey, I have some information you might want to get out to the public. And she says that this information needs to be spoken about, and it's with regards to DEEP, D-E-E-P, and the failure on their end to deal with PFAS in people's well waters and much more. And PFAS is what's called a forever chemical. It means that you can't get rid of them. So she sent me some of the data on a couple of reports that were done back in 2004 and 2011. And this is because of chemicals that come from a place called the Quinnipiac Farm. Many of you might be familiar with it in Killingly. And I'm reading the report. There are no real stories about this report. Why? I'm not exactly sure. They don't believe that it is a big deal. The story is big locally because this environmental issue probably covers about 733 folks within the area, plus endangered critter spots, and about 13K in a 4-mile splash zone. They do believe that this contamination could spike cancer risks or muck up fish if ignored nationally. That's according to this report. There are no real headlines about it, but here's the breakdown. According to the story, at this Quinnipiac Farm, there was, let's just say, some industrial scrap and slop that was left in waterways and on the farm that got into well water. Apparently, this has been happening since the 1960s. The operator allegedly hauled industrial slops like rubber scraps, plastics, chemicals from nearby factories to this 64-acre Killingly spread at 55 Cotton Bridge Road. They dumped it in old riverbeds buried under gravel and manure, and then corn planted like nothing happened. Fast forward, EPA flags it in the 1980s and 90s for buried drums in the area. In 2004, soil samples screamed trouble. Oily toxins like benzoapriene, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, metals like arsenic, lead, PCBs over Connecticut safety limits. River sediments tainted too, hitting the wetlands and fish groundwater maybe. They're saying affecting 16,000 locals. High priority, dig deeper. No on-site visit, but geophysics pinged metal blobs. In 2006, they tested 27 spots, confirmed the crude same metals, PCBs plus asbestos. No drinking water red lines, but unknown risks to wells and the Quinebog River. In 2011, they recheck. It says the same old, population dipped a smidge, fewer exposure worries, but still parked as assessment complete, decision needed. They waited for deep, and they didn't really say much. Today, there still isn't anything being said or done about it. No big league cleanup with the status assessment complete. No decision has been made, and no digs have been set up to at least clean it out. Now, they told me to pay attention to the 2011 report. The 2011 report says that this is a problem. Plus, they say that there are some people in the area who are complaining that they indeed may be suffering or have suffered as a result of this spill, or at least the negligence of it, any sort of removal. Here is the last probe. Forgive me for a second. I just want to make sure I got the right date here in front of me. Because according to this, this is pretty much the same deal. They're saying high level of arsenic, poisonous cancer, cancer-like or cancer-linked, copper, lead, bad for kids' brains, nickel and zinc. This is not backyard garden stuff. These things could leach into water or get kicked up in dust. And they know it's there. Deep knows it's there. Reports have been done on it. I have a copy of both. But no one has done anything about it, and the population hasn't been really able to get the word out. There's been a small effort to get the word out, but it was covered by a very small radio station. No one else is covering it. No one else seems to be interested in it. So they want me to get some attention to it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to ask a couple of people that I know in the business, or at least some friendly folks, to see if they can talk about this, or at least to find out more details. If the last report was done in 2011, let's see if we can get somebody to get out there and test the water today. That's a considerable amount of time from 2011 to today, and there's been no report done on it. So that's pretty much the news I had on that. I'm going to investigate it a little further, and in fact, more information should be coming in on that, because I asked for some folks to give me some other quiet study stuff to see if they can tell me what's going on. Let me see. What else is in the chat room here? Okay, Josiah has an important conversation he wants to have with me. Josiah, if you want to call me about the gambling thing, you can. Just get on the phone, and I'll pick you up. I'll be happy to talk to you about it. I don't know if we can get anything done today, but Josiah wants to. Now, Roland, you're probably going to get ticked off about this. You might want to come on the mic for this one. Can I read you what he wrote me? Let me read you what he wrote me. He says, Josiah writes, are you taking calls? I want to talk about DraftKings. Now, are they a sponsor here? Weren't they once? Didn't we used to have FanDuel or something? Yeah, FanDuel. FanDuel was one. Okay, FanDuel.
That's what I'm on, FanDuel.
Yeah, you're on FanDuel. Yeah, he says that he wants to talk about DraftKings. He says, I'm talking with the state rep about writing a bill to ban it as we speak. He says that he doesn't believe that there should be an app, or we should have online gambling of this fashion in Connecticut.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're making way too much money.
What about Mohegan Sun? Doesn't it cut off the middleman there? I mean, if people can gamble at home, what's the sense of going to the casino?
There's a lot of reasons to go to the casinos. When you're gambling at home, you get all of the perks, the free rooms, the free concert tickets, free food, and all of that stuff.
Can you be like what? I'll put it to you this way. When I go gambling, I never get offered a perk. I never get, hey, go see one of our shows. I walk home after I've lost, $200 on the nickel slots, and I just call it a night.
Yeah, you got to play a lot. That's why. Where do you go? Once every blue moon?
Man, let me tell you, if I go, I think the last time we went, I took Roseanne for her birthday, and we spent more money at dinner than we did
on gambling. Yeah, I know.
Gambling.
Yeah.
And that was only because we went to a nice restaurant, and the meal, I can guarantee, cost us about $250 to $300.
Yeah, they have the Michael Jordan restaurant up there in Mohegan.
Yeah.
And off to the side of it, it's the Michael Jordan 23 Sports Cafe.
Okay.
That's where I go. Because
is that a cheaper meal?
It's reasonable because the Michael Jordan regular restaurant, the steaks are like $200 and
no way,
$150, $200.
No way,
yeah, and it's packed in there every weekend too.
Last time I spent that much money on a steak, I bought a porterhouse from some Tampa Bay thing called Charlie's in Tampa Bay. It was also the first time I had alligator legs or whatever it was. Tastes like rubber. It's awful. I bought the porterhouse. I think was $150.
Yeah, was it good though?
It was great. I couldn't finish it. It was big as a house. And then I got yelled at by my ex-wife because I left it in the hotel room.
Oh,
when we left the next day. I was supposed to take it home with me.
You just lost $50.
I lost it.
That's like literally.
It was actually, I lost a little more than $50. It was like $75.
Yeah, so that's like literally dropping $75 out of your pocket and.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's Teresa's in the chat room. Teresa, I tried to call you, because we literally wanted to go to church. And I called and I got a voicemail, and the voicemail said that it was, why do people do that on their voicemail? The voicemail said that it was full and you couldn't leave a message. Folks, can you clean out your voicemails?
Yeah, people don't check theirs. I check mine periodically.
You do?
But they never. I don't get enough calls to.
I don't think so. I don't think I do either.
To fill up, so.
That's true. I don't. This is what happens when you have no friends.
Yeah, exactly. We're loners, man.
Yeah, exactly. We're lonely guys. So, Teresa, please, I'll try you again. I've got your number somewhere. I'll try you again. Maybe we can work it out this weekend after I go to Newtown. And Josiah, if you want to, is that his name? If you want to call in and talk about gambling, Josiah, you absolutely can. But I got to be honest with you, I don't have an interest inside or out of gambling because, someone told me a long time ago, back in Boston, and I thought it was an insult. I thought it was a mean thing to say. Roland, this will probably be. No, you wouldn't take offense to this. He said, gambling is a tax on the stupid. That's what he called it. And only reason why I remember it is because I can't understand why he said it. He also said that about cigarettes. But I went, how is that a tax? Like, somebody's actually getting something from the thing that they're paying for, right? It would almost be like saying buying a house is a tax on the stupid. I just didn't understand. It's always sat with me in a wrong way. I'm just like, I don't think it means what you think it means. But trying to stop gambling or online gambling, people are going to find a way to do it. And if you get rid of online gambling, I always believe that the other element comes in. The criminal element comes in. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, it's going to go right back to the loan shark. You do have to claim it, you have to claim it.
Yeah, but they don't get taxed by the loan shark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's different.
I don't have to pay him 15% for betting
true.
with him, and if you do enough, you don't end up paying anything anyway because if you hit a jackpot, then you just write off the losses and everything becomes even.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, what's the most you ever won, if you don't mind saying?
At what you mean? Like
anything.
At one time?
Yeah.
Probably. I think 7,700 at one time.
One sitting.
Yeah.
7,700.
Yeah.
Is that? Nah, that's okay. I'm not gonna lie. That's not
big.
It's not gangbusters.
I'm also not betting 100 and 150s of dollars at a time either. I don't go past $10.
What's the lowest lottery winning you could win that you would call substantial? Like the lowest amount that you would consider a big payday.
$100,000.
Damn, wow. Literally, you just pulled that right out of my brain. That's the same amount that I think of. I always say that all the time when I play. I was like, you know what? I'd be okay if I just won 100,000.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to win $1 million, but
I don't even care about that.
I'll take 10% of that.
Yeah, I was like, $100,000? Yeah, without a doubt.
Yep.
I'll take that in a heartbeat.
I don't have any major debts. So.
Nor do I. Absolutely. Gosh, that would be a dream come true for me.
Throw that in savings and take the big boy cruise to Greece and all of that. And
I would turn around and in this studio, I would replace that camera with a $200 camera
instead of a $100.
67, but who's counting?
Okay.
I got it on the warehouse at Amazon.
Hey, you
I
can't
spend
complain.
a lot of money. Yeah, what Sokolowski says, spot on. $100,000 is right on point. That is a reasonable amount.
Yeah, absolutely.
You pay off all I don't know how much debt a lot of people have. I know some people who have a lot of debt. Like if you went to college, forget about it. I'm sorry. I can't speak for you. But I kind of feel like the average person would be a great amount of money to pay off that debt and still have some left over.
I feel like Unless it's like a bunch of millions of dollars, like you hit the Powerball or Mega Millions or something like that. I knew, me and my boy, we know a guy that hit $1 million on a scratch off, and it was gone in like 8 months. So
what?
Yeah.
$1 million in 8 months?
Yeah, which after the taxes is not really $1 million.
Well, even though I could
like
up
$637,000.
Even if it was $600,000, he was done in 8 months.
Yeah, because he gambled most of it back.
Oh, he gambled. I was going to say, I thought he bought an Escalade and maybe opened up a movie or a recording studio. Like
gamble most of it back. Yep.
Yeah, gambling makes sense, but that's still a lot of money to gamble.
I think he paid off his house and then gambled the rest.
Okay, well, paying off the house is what, like paid off, like own it full.
Yeah, he only owed like $100,000 on it. He just paid.
I'd have done that.
And then gambled the rest.
Yeah, I'd have done that. I don't even know what, to be honest with you, I don't know what I would do because I feel like if I were to win that much money, I would never see it anyway because Roseanne would take it right from me. She was like, nope, you don't know. Nope.
You got to keep, that's why you say, hey, guess what? I won the lottery, $250,000, and then you give her the $250, right? Now you have $350 for yourself tucked away, and then you say, hey, you keep 200 of that and just give me 50 and we're going to call it even. And then now you got 50 to do whatever you want to do with it. That's how you play that.
I would never know what to do with that kind of money. It would burn a hole in my pocket. I wouldn't know what to do with that money. I'll be honest with you. I'm the only person who knows who would have that much money and still wouldn't know what to do with it. I wouldn't at all. I'm the worst with money.
Then you got to get with some investors so they take care of you.
Probably exactly what I should do. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. We got But between rounds coming up in a little bit. More news, more views. And I got to talk about the Affordable Care Act and why Democrats are so desperate to keep the government closed because of this information. It's really, really good. Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I don't want to say anything, but it's our birthday. I'm sure you knew that already, and I'm sure you've got a wonderful present. 100 years, by the way.
Hey, we're back. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC, News Talk 1080. Thank you guys for checking out the program, even though it's a holiday, and I know that it's usually a slow news day for you. And we'll get into some news of Affordable Care Act and stuff is coming up in a little bit. I want to talk a bit about that to break down why the Democrats are so upset about this and how they're trying to sling mud on Republicans about the Affordable Care Act, even though they know that they are 100% responsible for why healthcare premiums are about to go up. And in fact, I'm going to lay out for you how Donald Trump played a role in all of this and how they're trying to use that as the means to say it's his fault. And it's an interesting breakdown. So I've got all that material coming up. I want to read this because, no holiday in the United States would be a holiday or a memorial or commemoration of people if somebody didn't throw a little bit of racism in it. I mean, it just wouldn't be. Thanksgiving can't be Thanksgiving. Christmas can't be Christmas without a little racism. And I've got to use this particular story as a cautionary tale to the racists who live amongst us and those who live and listen to this show. They are racist. They won't tell you that. They'll use terms like black nationalists and things like that. But that's what they are. They're racist. And Donald, let's applaud him. Let's applaud him. Donald couldn't wait to share this story with me. Donald was scouring social media and he saw some African Americans or blacktivists who were on there screaming and hollering about a story I'd like to share with you from the perspective of Donald. Donald writes, I'm quite sure this won't bother you, as most likely see nothing wrong with this. Black soldiers were removed from a World War II memorial and sparks fury from the family. He writes to me, this is what you as a black man support. Your ancestors gave their lives for this country, and this is what this administration does. You need your damn head examined. So I write back to him, and I say, you really want to go down this road? Do you really want to go down this road? Do I have to embarrass you? I guess I have to embarrass you. As I try to explain to Don and many others who listen to this program, I don't follow the news. I am the news. You know, like Tony Stark says, I am Iron Man. I am the news. I do this for a reason. It's my life. He blamed this administration, Don did, that this administration had taken down the memorial of 2 black soldiers. You need to have your head examined, he said. Here's the story. 2 informational panels honoring the contributions of African American soldiers during World War II were removed from the visitor center at the Netherlands American Cemetery in Margraten, Netherlands. These panels were installed in 2023 and featured stories of Technician 4th Class George H. Pruitt, a black soldier killed in action in 1944, and Jefferson Wiggins, a black gravedigger who worked at the cemetery after the war. The cemetery, managed by the American Battle Monuments, commissioned by the ABMC, commemorates over 8,000 U.S. soldiers, including 174 African Americans who died liberating Europe. Visitors first noticed the panel's absence in the summer of 2025, sparking widespread outrage and viral claims on social media, accusing the Trump administration of erasing black history. Why was it removed? Well, the Pruitt panel was part of a temporary rotating exhibition of 15 panels, 4 of which highlighted black soldiers, and was removed as scheduled. Wiggins' panel was rotated out following an internal review of interpretive content conducted under the previous ABMC secretary, Charles DeJoe, a Biden appointee. The panels were not intended to be temporary. Advocates, including Wiggins' widow, Janice, and the Dutch research group Black Liberators, describe them as permanent fixtures and say that they received no advance notice of the changes. Not done by the Trump administration. At all. At all. So silly Donald got ahead of his skis because of a bunch of black activists online told him, see? Trump hates black people. And he jumped at the chance. See, this administration, you need to have your head examined. Well, turns out it was sure by your boy, old Smokey Joe. Turns out that this was your buddy. Yeah, you know, that guy who says that poor kids are just as smart as white kids. You know, the guy you had to vote for or you weren't black. Yes, that guy rotated them out. And they were always temporary. By the way, I wrote to Don. I wrote this to him. Are you trying to blame Americans for this story? Is this what happens when you have your bias spoon-fed to you by virtually the dumbest people on earth? You jumped at the chance to accuse your own country of an immoral act, and it wasn't even here in the country. You should be ashamed of yourself. Donald has gone missing from social media, but he'll be back when he regroups and regains his dignity to come back. Donald, maybe we'll see you tomorrow. I get such a joy at proving these folks wrong. Tom is in Thomaston. Hello, sir.
Hey, hello. Hey, Reese. all those people that are everywhere accusing Republicans and conservatives of racism, I didn't hear one of them say anything about Mondami's mother when she made those racist statements in that interview about non-Indians.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. Or I didn't see anybody get upset when he said, didn't he actually apply to go to Harvard and state himself as a black man because he was born in Uganda?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a brother.
I forget what the term is, but it's it's a common term word in Indian to apply to non-Indians, and it's a very derogative.
Is it a derogatory? Now, is she saying? Now you're talking about the derogatory word is about non-Indian folks. It's not specific to any other race. It just means non-Indian.
Yeah, but it's
it's a derogatory term. Okay, I'm not familiar with this term at all. I'm going to have to look it up. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Is he Ugandan or is he something else?
I'm not. She's a famous TV documentarian. I think she's Indian. I think I've seen a picture of her.
Like, are we talking Indian? When I say Indian, we're talking like Bollywood Indian.
Not.
Did I throw you for a loop when I said Bollywood? Because that's not a slur. That's not a slur.
No, that's not slur. But I'm thinking, I don't know how to say.
Yes, Indian from India.
Yes, I believe. Yeah, and it's slipping my mind. She doesn't even call her son an American, or he's whatever the term is for a hardcore Indian.
Right.
It's not Indian.
A hardcore Indian. I don't think. Do they wear leather jackets with spikes?
And then she makes the slight of all non-Indians. So, Reese, that's something the conservatives and the Democrats could unite behind.
Oh, absolutely.
Stop calling us that slur.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. We could call each other that slur. That's what it is. We could. Thank you, boss man. I appreciate you. I got to go to a break soon enough. Once it was said, Matt said, hey, Donald, I know you're watching. If you were wrong about something, just admit it and move on. Yeah, he should just apologize. Like, he should just apologize. But again, look, this is very, very true about these folks and these racists and race baiters. How would they survive without it? They couldn't. They just couldn't. He needed it to be Donald Trump. He was thirsting for it. He was thirsty even. Sitting there like hungry, starving for another story about Donald Trump. I really do believe that, there's a thing that you could do. You can ask for news every day. It's like alert me, like an alert. It's like, if you have bad news about Donald Trump, alert me here at this email address. And I think they wake up every morning waiting for it. It's like global warming folks, like doomsday preppers. Tell me everything there is about the sun and how it's going to kill us. I need to know every day how the sun's going to kill us. Are the sun rays dangerous today? What's the pollen count? Are the waters rising? What's Al Gore doing right now? Is Al Gore giving a speech in Davos about it? I need to. Yeah, link me in immediately. That's what these people are. Doomsday preppers. They're thirsty every day. Oh, Mark's going to call. Okay. I had a feeling. I don't know why, but I had a feeling. Anyway, we'll get him on the line and do that when he does. Oh, I mean, Donald's writing right now. He's writing in the Facebook chat. Let me see if we can get him in the next 30 seconds. See if he'll respond. We're waiting for him. I know he's listening, so he's probably going to wait until we go to commercial break before he writes it. Come on, Donald. Press send. Press send. I'm sorry. We got to go to a break. We'll be back. More news, more views, and you can shake a stick at. Oh, Teresa left a new message. I'll read that when we get back as well. Stand by. ACA stuff coming up. It's Reese on the radio.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Still nothing yet. Teresa did want to respond. She says that she's waiting for me to hear. She does apologize about her messages. That is the worst thing ever. Teresa said that on her voicemail. Has this ever happened to you, Roland? Teresa said on her voicemail, she can't remember the password to get into her voicemail so that she can clean out her messages. So she technically, you kind of have to answer everything. And if you don't, it goes to a voicemail, whatever. I only had that happen once. Yeah, I think you do. I think you have to go to the store and actually get it reset if you can. But she does send her apologies. It's okay. I felt awful because I had to make a decision on what I was going to do, and then I had someone else that was calling me, and I had like all of these other plans, and I was trying to, honor my commitment to go to see you, Teresa, and I didn't get to do that, so we made plans to go somewhere else, and we did that. Anyway, when we come back in the next hour, the Affordable Care Act, what is the big deal and why Democrats are so desperate to make a deal on it, why they don't think that Republicans will? Well, Donald Trump did during his first administration make it known that he wanted to kill the Affordable Care Act. And he went through a lot of lengths to do that. Some of them some of them you do not. And what they're fearful of now in knowing that Donald Trump could because the negotiation power is in his hand. And what I mean by that is if they want people to stay on this program, they're going to have to capitulate. They are going to have to bend the knee to Donald Trump. They knew that. So people's suffering was all they had. And they thought that Donald Trump would care so badly, and they thought that the backlash or the news reports, so the news media would play a huge role in public opinion that would destroy Donald Trump to the point where he had no choice but to move. But he told the Republicans, don't budge. He'll take the hit. Donald Trump, the last time they had the government shut down, what did he tell Chuck Schumer? You guys all famously remember that confrontation in the Oval Office. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi didn't want to go and blow up the whole thing, but Donald Trump looked right at Chuck Schumer and said, don't worry about it. I'll take the credit for it. He said in front of everybody. It wasn't a closed-door deal. They weren't prepared for that because they wanted to go out and tell the news media, yeah, it's Donald Trump's fault, but Donald Trump said in front of everybody, that's right, we'll shut down the government, Chuck, and I'll take the whole thing on my lap. They knew that Donald Trump was going to do that. And again, we got then to see Donald Trump as a negotiator. He'll take the hit. You know what? I'll take the hit. For what I stand for, yep, I'll take every bit of it. Yep, shut the government down. Go ahead. Yeah, the press is not going to say anything glowing about me anyway. What leverage is that? Oh, the leverage is the government, the news media is going to say horrible things about me? What else is new? He didn't care one bit. He didn't care one bit, and not about this either. And he knew he would win. That's why old Chris Murphy is all sad now. It's actually pretty pathetic. But I'm going to talk to you about that in the next hour. What do? I just pick him up? Oh, okay. All right. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher. He's here. By hook or by crook, they get him here. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Well, good afternoon to you. If you are heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, you're looking at delays 44 Prospect, Oakwood into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is tight approaching the Oakley Bridge out to 4770. 91 southbound, look for delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you're traveling in the northbound side of Route 9, delays 27 up to exit 30. The ramp to 91 south. Traveling into Waterbury, westbound 84 is tied up 26 up to 25. And heading down in toward New Haven, Southbound on the Parkway delays approaching the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
Why is NJM Insurance silent in an industry full of catchy jingles? And how do they do what's right when things go wrong? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries to find out.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
WTIC weather.
December-like cold will continue the rest of this Veterans Day. Varying amounts of clouds along with a gusty breeze and even a couple of passing snow flurries. High temperature near 40, feeling colder with the gusty wind. Breezy and cold tonight, considerable cloudiness, low 32. And then for tomorrow, chilly and breezy, mostly cloudy, high 45. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low 36. For Thursday, partly sunny and breezy, though not as cold, high 50. Back to chillier weather on Friday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. There could be a shower in the area. Friday's high 47. Temperatures dropping back below freezing Friday night. Chilly but dry as we start the weekend. Saturday is sunny to partly cloudy, high 44. Overall, the best day of the weekend is rain is possible on Sunday. Cloudy and chilly on Sunday with a high of 48. Clearing Sunday night, low 37. Monday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine with a high up to near 50. I'm Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Bagel Deli and Bakery. Between rounds.
Jennifer T. in Burlington, right? In Burlington, yes. Every time I see that name, I think of the Coat Factory. Burlington, she is today's winner of the Between Rounds dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. And if you'd like to win, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com to enter. Make sure you leave your telephone number and your date of birth. Also, remember to, you must live in the state of Connecticut, cannot have won within the last 6 months. If you have won in the last 6 months from today, you can now enter again and you can win again. So all you have to do is just do that. The bagels are good. The bagels are great. I eat the bagels all the time. I have a dozen sitting at my house right now, which I need to get back in. But my wife is trying to do some weird stuff like fasting again. I don't know what's that. Hey, by the way, is chronic back pain, does that come from weight gain? I'm still trying to understand. Is that? I exercise. I walked from the car into the building just today. In fact, I walked all the way to the kitchen, to the vending machine. My debit card didn't work because some odd reason the vending machine was messed up, but I walk back. I walk a lot. I'm very, very energetic. I like to say so myself. I walk around a lot. Now, when you say exercise, are you talking about that or are you talking about something else? Oh, the gym. No, I don't know anybody named Jim. How about James? I know some James. The gym. Yes, I know. I have one. I should be working out more. I'm going to try. Today was just not a good day. Actually, no day's a good day. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's at the BPS Traffic Center.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Mark, you're son of a brain surgeon. Just sent me this picture. I'm not. Look, I wear a large T-shirt. Yes, I don't need an extra large because I'm skinny fat. That's why. Skinny fat. There's a thing. It's a distinction. I'm not, wouldn't you consider me skinny fat, Roland? Right? Like, yeah, like a skinny fat guy. Yeah, of course. I know that I am. That's okay. I didn't need you, Roland, anyway. People say, if you look at my legs, you can tell that I'm sort of a skinny fat. It's weird. Anyway. All right, so Democrats, we all know the story. The Affordable Care Act Act was passed in 2010. What did they promise? They promised that they would lower premiums for most people. You remember what Obama told us. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. Families would save $2,500 a year. But what happened? Did premiums go up? Yeah, they did. How high did they go up? Well, after the act was passed in 2010, ACA rates rose to $5,800 3 years later, in 2013. And since 2023, it's gone up $23,000 a year. They did not bring the cost down. It didn't. It was never going to. Why? Because you couldn't make people buy it even if they tried. They just didn't want to. And if they didn't, there were supposed to be penalties for it. But they couldn't stick the landing on penalties. Forcing people to buy health care and then penalizing them if they didn't do it. And then not pulling the trigger on that penalty is the start of the problem. Remember, Barack Obama had a re-election campaign and a legacy to protect. Imagine he had been the guy who was punishing people for not getting his Affordable Care Act. Why did the premiums rise? Mandates forced insurers to cover more. From pre-existing conditions, no lifetime caps, essential benefits. This was good for sick people, but cost more to insure everyone else. Healthy people, as they always did before the Affordable Care Act, did not sign up. No one signs up for health care when they're in their 20s and they're healthy and they're going to the gym and they're living healthy and eating healthy. This is 2010 to 2012 to 2013. Nobody is buying health care in that age group. In the gluten-free, tofu, kale-eating public. Not at 27. They're just not. They don't want that money taken out of their paycheck. Why? Because it's already expensive enough to live. Remember, during that era, what was happening? People stopped buying cars. Why? Because environmental reasons. They would Uber and Lyft. They were talking about green energy. They were eating healthier. They were, lowering their carbon footprint. They were more aware of their surroundings. Tay in the wind. Tay in the wind. For those of you who remember that reference. These people were eating wheatgrass and anything off the ground. Some of them were experimenting with eating bugs. They didn't need that Affordable Care Act. The risk corridors and reassurance temporary buffers, they all expired in 2016. Insurers lost billions. They lost billions of dollars. And what happens when these industries lose money? Just like they did in the housing crisis. Huh? They start betting against them so they can get their money back. You can't just lose money. You have stake. You have shareholders. The Democrats passed this. They own it. They know that they own it. And everything that's happened since then, they are bearing the responsibility, and they know it. But they found a way to blame Donald Trump. And he did play a role, don't get me wrong. Donald Trump decided in 2017, he got rid of it. He got rid of the mandate penalty. Even though it wasn't being used, he got rid of it. Why are these people being forced to pay a penalty for not getting insurance that they don't want? That's freedom. They don't want to take the health care insurance. They shouldn't be penalized for it. Everybody hated the plan. The penalty was meant to force healthy people to to sign up, balancing out the sicker folks in the pool. It was a Ponzi scheme. Without it, fewer healthy people joined, leaving riskier high-cost pools. Insurers raised the rates to cover the fact that those people did not join. Now, again, Ponzi scheme. Younger people aren't using it. Older people need their money to pay for the health care that they could get. They are the subsidy. You can blame Trump for that. Sure, you can. But do you think it was right for Barack Obama to have forced those people to pay for the older folks who were sick? No. That's what made it a socialist plan in the first place. Now, I'm sure there's some other folks that are sitting around here talking about, but yeah, shouldn't they care about their fellow man? You pay for it. Where's your dollars? The outreach and enrollment funding in 2016, that was cut. They cut that program by 80%. How much money were they spending? $62 million was being spent on it. Trump's cut that down to $10 million. It ended all of the ads about the ACA. I'm not exactly sure why that's a problem. But why were they spending $62 million to promote the Affordable Care Act? It was all anyone was talking about. We lived it. Obamacare was on the lips of even the most lay folks watching the news. Everybody knew that term. They say that Donald Trump pushed junk plans, expanded short-term plans up to 364 days in association health plans were cheap, but they were skimpy. No pre-existing coverage and limits on benefits. You mean like regular health care? You buy the package that you want. You want to buy the most minimum plan you can. Pay for the stuff. It's like a smorgasbord of health care that you can purchase, or health insurance for that matter. That's what they're calling a problem. That's why they're blaming that part on Trump, because he's not forcing everyone to be on it. But it should have been doing the thing it was supposed to do in the early parts of the administration. You pass it in 2010. You have until 2016 to make it work. It never got better. It got worse. Everything that they told us didn't happen. It's how Barack Obama got the 4 Pinocchios in the Washington Post. Biggest lie of the year. If you want your plan, you can keep your plan. But they need it to stay. Why? Why must it stay? Sadly enough, it has nothing to do with the Affordable Care Act as it stands. As an Affordable Care Act or an insurance policy or anything. It has nothing to do with that. If the Affordable Care Act is done, out of here, donezo, completely gone, what's Barack Obama got left? What legislation stands firm in the spirit of being a president? I mean, every president has something that they lay their hat on as something that, like FDR, had what's it called? The deal. And Lyndon B. Johnson had the Great Society. George W. Bush had the War on Terror. Ronald Reagan had Tear Down This Wall and a fighting of communism. What does Barack Obama have? He's got nothing. He's got nothing. What can you say about his administration? Nothing. He actually gets reduced to the BLM president. That's what he is. If the Affordable Care Act is gone, that's who he is. He is the BLM president. God bless him. God bless him. $90 million later, in the toilet, going into the coffers of lesbian black women to buy real estate and That's what he is. That's what he brought to us. He gave us racial tension. That's what it'll be remembered for if the Affordable Care Act dies. They're trying to save him from himself. That's all. Just trying to save his legacy. It's a reason why they call it his signature achievement. Once that's gone, once that's over, it's a footnote to an entire presidency that is meaningless. And if Donald Trump is the person that gets rid of that, what does that say at the end of the day? That the most consequential president of our lifetime turns out to be Trump and not Obama. Obama just ends up being that black guy. Sorry. I know it sounds mean. I don't care. I'm done caring. I knew the guy was a bust from day one. I knew he was a joke from day one. I knew he was a bore. I knew he was a blatherer. I knew it from day one. And I love every day watching his legacy get chipped away. Love it. It makes me feel good. Warm and cozy inside. Watching his legacy disappear. It's like drinking cocoa in the Swiss Alps. Feels so good. Let's go to Jerry. Jerry's on the line. Hello, Jerry. How are you?
Hey, would you take a call about Veterans Day or an aspect of it? I know you're talking.
Where you been?
I just jumped on now.
Began the whole show. That's okay. I told everybody today, regardless of what we're talking about, I want to hear from family members. If you were a veteran, if you got a family member who's a veteran, and call in and show your respect to those who have served. My wife is also a veteran. I showed her some love earlier, and of course, you have the opportunity. Go for it.
Well, regarding family members, my father served and my son served. I am not a veteran, but my father was and my son is. So what I was calling about today is the Veterans Day parade in New York City. And
okay,
if you look back over the last 75 years, the conflicts that the American soldier have been in, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Cold War, have been against international communism. And more recently, the conflicts have been against international jihadism.
Yeah.
So it's either war on communists or war on terrorists. So if you look at next year's Veterans Day parade in New York City, will this Mondami guy, since the American soldier has been fighting communism and jihadism, his two main constituents?
Such a great question.
Will he have like an ISIS brigade or an Al Qaeda brigade or a Red Army? Maybe they'll resurrect the Red Army to march down. I don't. As well.
I got to be honest with you. No. Listen to me. If there's anything that I understand is that your question is not a joke. That is not tongue in cheek at all. That is a very good point because you know what? I would put it this way. Even if Mamdani has no say in next year's Veterans Day parade, the question must be, will he march in it? Will he preside? Will he preside over said Veterans Day parade? And that is a very important. Look, he will be and I'm almost certain he will be. Yeah, he will be. He will be the mayor of New York for the 25th anniversary of September 11th. How will he commemorate that day? A guy who is known to say globalize the intifada, who has shown disrespect for police officers, who said he's going to replace them with, it's going to be a day that I'm telling you that the world will be watching just to see exactly the sentiment that he will show to the world, because all eyes will be on New York on those days. You're 100% right.
Well, we've been forewarned, and so we'll know that our veterans who fought against communism and against jihadism have an enemy, not a friend, in New York City Hall starting next year. They
sure do, and they asked for it. And look, And maybe I'm unlike most people, but, you know, I wanted New York to elect this guy. And I'll tell you why. When it comes to our children, we say to them all the time, you know, don't put your hand on the stove. But they usually don't learn until they do. And this is one of those moments where the young people, and 84% of young women ages 18 to 40 voted for this moron. And maybe they have to go through it so they can understand exactly what we've been trying to warn them about for, generations now. That we're going to be inviting that into our own home. And we're not going to know the country that we built after they allow them in.
Well, I agree with you. And I heard that he nominated the psychopath, the congressman that pulled the fire alarm, to be his school chancellor. So what I propose is when this guy takes over, every public school in New York, if there's 100, if there's 500, if there's 1,000, the day this guy takes over, somebody pull the fire alarm in that school and have hundreds of thousands of children out on the street because this guy.
Yeah.
And all those
I got to take a hard break, but I appreciate the call. Thank you so much, man, and thank all of your family for their service.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Anyway, we are back. More news, more views. We'll get some more weather and traffic in a second from Mark Christopher. I've got some real creepy text messages. This is, again, why when people send me messages on Facebook, I immediately go, like, okay, who are you? I don't know who these people are on social media, but I'm going to just read you what the message says. The message says, these are the type of people you are friends with on Facebook. Seems like a ridiculous statement, but anyway, so someone that I know who I am friends with on Facebook, and when I say friends with on Facebook, he friended me and I accepted. They were in a back and forth in exchange. This individual, whom I do not know and is not a friend of mine on Facebook, they were going in an exchange back and forth. And the person who has friended me on Facebook wrote a post to that individual with a picture, a meme of Yogi and Boo Boo from Yogi Bear. And it uses the N-word. Let me just put it out there. It does. So then the individual who obviously maybe listens to my show or may have just caught my show or whatever the case is, then comes to me and says, these are the type of friends you are on Facebook. Let me help you. I'm going to help you and a lot of people. Okay? You don't want to go down that road with me. You don't want to go down that road. I'll annihilate you. I'll embarrass you. And I will make you cry. Grown men, I will make you cry. You don't want to go down that road with me. I don't give a damn what he said to you. I don't give a damn what he posted to you. You trying to shame me because of what somebody else says? Deal with that grown man. If you got any real chops, you'll deal with him as a grown-up. What are you coming to me for? What am I, his father? You come to me like I'm his daddy? Do you think I'm going to go over to him and say, oh, young man, you act better? Now pull up your belt there, buddy. Pull your socks up, pull your sneakers up, or whatever you got to do. But if you're offended by something that that man wrote to you, go handle your business. What you coming to me for? Don't whine to me. I don't care what he wrote. I believe in free speech. Now, let me tell you why I'm going to talk about this, because we have a story here in Connecticut that applies to this. And I'll talk about it in a little bit. It is a very, very important story that a lot of these folks need to understand, that it has to do with free speech. And so when you start asking me to start curtailing other people's free speech, my answer is never going to be, yeah, we should look into that. It is always no. And I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So I'm hoping you're paying attention. I hope you're here. What's your name? Darius? Yeah, I'm hoping you're listening, Darius. Great name, by the way. We're going to give you a lesson or two when we return. Stand by. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Now, I've got to read this off the computer because I thought I had a printout of it, but it turns out I didn't grab it. But this one's from the New Haven Register. Former Connecticut teacher who used the N-word in class covered by free speech. You go, girl. All right, before the NAACP loses its mind, let me explain to you why this ruling was important. Okay. This happened in Middletown. A judge found that a former Middletown teacher was justified in complaining about the school's scapegoating of her for speaking a slur during a lesson on racial epithets. Crystal Bird's lawsuit in a state superior court in Middletown can move forward after Judge Sheila Ozales shot down the school's district's bid to strike her complaint. Bird, who began working full-time for the district back in 1997, contends that the suit filed January that the school officials retaliated against her for exercising her free speech rights and destroyed her career. Bird taught health education and cultural diversity between 1997 and 2021. According to the complaint, which focuses on her 8th grade class at Beeman's Middle School, during that lesson, Bird highlighted derogatory terms, including the N-word, with the goal of helping students make better decisions in life by providing a better understanding of the words, their origins, and their pernicious use, according to the suit. Bird, who's now 58 years old, framed the discussion around the N-word as one of the most derogatory and offensive slurs against any racial ethnic group, according to the court documents. She had taught for the same lesson, which was part of an approved curriculum for years and drew no complaints, according to the suit. Until this time. On October 29th of 2021, Bird presented the lesson to 2 classes without incident. But during the 3rd class, a black student objected to Bird using the N-word and stated that she felt uncomfortable and then turned her seat away from the plaintiff. According to the lawsuit, another student said that Bird, as a white person, had no business using the word, and a student next to her agreed. Court documents say a paraprofessional in the classroom asked the 2 students how they felt, how they would like the topic to be taught, and both girls said it should be taught by a teacher of color. The confrontation quickly became the focus of complaints from parents and other residents on a hot topic. On a social media post that included audio recordings of the lesson being taken by one student. That evening, the complaint says the school's principal, Raymond Byron, placed Bird on paid leave, and her teaching career spiraled downward from that point. The school district contended that Bird's complaint did not cover speech protected under the state law and legal precedent, including speech addressing threats to health and safety. And therefore, her complaint should be stricken from the record entirely. Her speech, rather, dealt with problems that, although embedded in our nation's social fabric, were nonetheless abstract in their discussion and application, the lawyers contended. Ozales disagreed, finding Bird's lesson did address a threat to health and safety, and citing state law that says employers are liable for damage when they punish workers for exercising protected rights. The judge also noted that according to Bird's complaint, the district had approved the lesson as part of the curriculum. Quote, like she had said in years past, the plaintiff alleges she simply taught her students to recognize racial epithets and prepare them to confront such words outside the classroom in their communities. And she did. So she's allowed to go further. She will more than likely win her lawsuit, or they will settle, as most schools do in this case. So when I hear these people screaming and hollering about the N-word and who can use it, I say to them, no, you don't get to tell us. You don't, and I don't care. I've never cared. And I'm just, to be honest with you, like I said, I'm just happy that she, look. I know the gravity of the word. I know how it affects people. But I think that, at some point people have got to decide on whether or not that word is okay to use or isn't. And you got to be consistent. That's all I ask. Just be consistent. Be consistent every day with that word. Agreed. Actions speak louder than words. They are. Yeah. Which group benefits the most from free? I don't know what you're talking about there. It's incredible. Anyway. Donald says, I defend her right to say whatever she wants. It's not what you say, it's what you do. Well, I wish you could tell some people that. I wish some people would listen to that. Tomorrow's program, we're going to get back to the normal norm because I know it's a holiday. This building is empty. If it's like a ghost town in here, Roland. Like they just take off. It's like nobody's here. And the only people who hear us are the people who are listening on the radio. Do you ever, and you said, do you get double time today? Do I get double time today? Why not? Why don't I get double time? I don't get paid. Well, I was on WBEN today, so I did make a little bit of extra money.
You got the big bucks. You okay?
Let's not go there. Big bucks. Well, yeah, okay. I get paid well. I'm not going to complain about that. Matt says, why not use that word at all? Is there a reason to use that word? Damn, I have time. I'm going to go there. Okay. I got it. It's just one of those things. It's like using the word mother. Mother blank. It's like using the F-bomb. It's necessary. It's language. Language is necessary. Words are necessary. They are important. They have meaning. And they convey something. I do this on the radio because I understand, like some people, I've heard people diminish my job. My little one, Ethan, well, he's 27, 28 now. But he used to say that when he was younger, about 9 years old. I said, hey, boy, what does your dad do? Talk on the radio? Thanks, kid. Thank you. How do you like that new bike? This ring talking on the radio. But words have meaning. And words are effective. They don't just convey ideas. They do more. They motivate. They inspire. And on the other side, they can hurt. They can harm. Egos get bruised. That's why I love the English language. In particular, there are things that you can say in other language. You could probably do the same thing you do in the English language, but if you convey it the right way, our language right here, if you do it the right way, like a smart way, you could do a lot. You could do a lot. And I'll tell you, man, that N-word, I know people think it's ugly, but it's supposed to be. God doesn't make mistakes. That word is supposed to be ugly. It's supposed to have the effect that it does. That's why I understand it. It has no power over me, but knowing the power it has over others is the greatest gift I've ever been given. Let me explain, Matt, because Matty was in the chat room asking about it. So let me explain it to you. Imagine Superman and lead, or Superman and bullets, or Superman and a train, or Superman and a punch. Right? Could never, ever affect him. Doesn't matter. But all of those things would affect you. If it bounced off him and hit you, you'd be rendered, hurt, dead even. Imagine having the power to control the effect of words on you and knowing that others cannot even sustain the damage of that word. I told you about the time that a guy shot at me inside of a bar. Okay, I'll tell you what happened. It was real simple. He and I were going back and forth at each other, and the jokes were getting a little more severe on my end. But I was very jovial about it. I was having a good time. And when you ever get into dozens with me, I can get really raw if I want to humiliate you. Having the gift of gab, because nothing is off limits. Some people have a limited vocabulary and a limited ability to insult people in that exchange. And he then went after my mother. Now, under any other normal circumstances, a guy who had heard what that guy said about my mother, he'd have gone off and a fight ensued.
What you say about my mama?
I did not take the bait. What he said about my mom got a roar of the crowd. Oh, snap! The whole crowd went off. I should have been humiliated because he had a crowd. But I said, no, you're right. Everything you said about my mother is true. But now let's talk about the filthy, disgusting, and I went in on his mother. After I confirmed that what he said about my mother was absolutely true. I said, you're absolutely right what you said about my mother. It was 100% she is all of those things. But no, I really want to have a conversation about the filthy, disgusting, and then I went in on his mother. And the crowd didn't know what to do. They all stopped like they had just seen a car accident when I was done. There was no, oh, it was shock that I had gone there. And I had done it with a smile. And he lost it. And he pulled out a small little .22. I grabbed it, fired right next to me. Bouncers grabbed us and pulled me out. I had to be escorted a couple of blocks away. Never to return to that bar. I was 86th forever. But I did not throw the first punch. I barely threw the first. I barely did. I just ended it. That's all I did. I ended it with my words. And he couldn't take it. Words are powerful. I understand that. I understood that then. That was way before I was in radio. I knew exactly how to get him. I knew exactly where to touch. It was like a pressure point. I knew exactly what to say, when to say it, how to put the inflection. And I knew exactly how to deliver it. And I didn't blink. I simply smiled. And I said it like I loved saying it. And it hurt. You'd think I'd pulled a gun out on him. And afterwards, even afterwards, I'll be honest with you, I didn't run around saying, I can't believe he pulled the gun. He didn't have a choice. I humiliated him. It was the only way he could respond. The things that I said about him in that moment, in front of a crowd of people, he only had one he only had one way to retaliate. He had to do it. That was how bad I insulted him. So when people say, why have the word? That's why. Because some people are affected by it. They need to understand the power of that word. I understand it. One day, Matty O, you and I will have a conversation privately, and I'll tell you one day I had to say that word to someone to understand its power. Because he kept using it the entire night. And he was a young black kid. Just N-word, N-word, N-word. You know, with the A at the end. And I pulled him close and I whispered in his ear, hard R. And he jumped back. He didn't know what to do with himself. I said, that's what that word sounds like when you say it. Powerful stuff. So when you ask that question, that's why. I want them to understand how powerful that is, and I want them to get angry about it every time they hear it. That's all. It's just an interesting thing to note. I'm sorry, I got in a little dark place right there. When we come back, let's see if we get some Hollywood news in you. There's a book that's got a remake coming out, and it has to do with an actress I mentioned yesterday. And now I'm even more angry about this woman. I'm not hating on her, but again, I'm still trying to understand it. We'll talk about it when we get back.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I got it. Well, what the heck? I'm just doing the thing. It's Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the radio. All the glitz and all the glamour. It's Hollywood News. Okay, so I didn't have to read this in school, but I know that there are millions of women out there who have read about it. By the way, ladies, if you have, because I know there are some readers out there, Lori, I know you're one of them, and I know some other readers are out there. If you've read the book Wuthering Heights, I always thought it was Wuthering Heights. I know it's Wuthering, but apparently it is, this romance novel by Emily Bronte. Is it Bronte? Emily Bronte? Is that her name? I don't know. Do you know anything about this?
I do not.
Okay. See, this isn't a guy's thing. So again, there have been movie adaptations about this, and now they're doing it again, and they're bringing in somebody. Cannot understand why, because I wouldn't even see her as somebody in a book like this. Margot Robbie. This is this is a movie that you give to one of those English actresses who are very esteemed with the dark hair, who uses a lot of thou and theys and, thou arts and stuff like that. It's just that kind of thing. This seems like a silly movie to get average women to go see Wuthering Heights and, who wouldn't read the book. I know it's probably not for me, but movies like this, I don't understand why they make them. And I'm also finding out, speaking of other horrible ideas, I just learned recently that the movie that Sydney Sweeney came out with called Chrissy or whatever it's called, about the female boxer, apparently it bombed at the box office. Okay, can I give somebody a hint in Hollywood? Who thought that you were going to have men run to the theater to watch Sydney Sweeney put on 50 pounds and box in a boxing ring? Who thought that was going to be appealing to the guys who are crazy about that woman? Who thought that? Who was going to run to the theater for that one at all? A female boxer you thought you were going to get? You barely got that from $1 Million Baby. By the way, did you ever see that?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see that? What did you think of that movie?
It was all right.
See? All right. Female boxing movie? All right. Even though it won Oscars, he said it was all right. Mark Christopher, I know I'm not even going to ask, but I'm so glad because he doesn't have to endure this. Christopher.
Don't ask. Don't ask. Well, what I will tell you, though, Reese.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I love it when the ladies correct me, especially when I butcher a woman's name. So I guess Emily Bronte is the name. Maz just corrected me. She just said, it's Bronte. I'm like, okay, all right, Bronte, whatever her name is. But Maz goes on to say, it's not my type of book. I'm more of a Jane Austen girl. Maz, I knew you were a Jane Austen girl. Most girls are. And you've probably watched the movies. I've been forced to watch Pride and Prejudice far too many times that I'm willing to repeat. And you know what? I will admit, I don't know why, but I watched that movie with, what's her name, Keira Knightley. And I'm watching it, and I don't even want to watch it. And then all of a sudden, I'm asking Roseanne questions. Okay, what's his problem with her? Does he, like, what do you mean he loves her? But he acts like he doesn't care about anybody. Like, why am I watching this? Why do I have so many questions? I guess because it's on TV, and I figured I got to ask. If I don't understand it, I've got to ask anyway. Okay, so who's this? Why are they getting married? They don't see. She doesn't love him. It does it to me every time. I hate it. It drives me up the wall. I'll go to the phones in a second, but I got to play this. Remember yesterday when I played Chris Murphy and how exhausted he was? He was so upset about the fact that the government shutdown was going to end. And, you know, this is exactly what he said, his own words. He said he needs the pain.
The vote hasn't closed, but it looks like 8 Democrats have joined Republicans to vote for a temporary reopening of the government for about 2 months, but a bill with no protections to stop the coming healthcare disaster in this country caused by Donald Trump's premium increases, nor any provisions to meaningfully stop Trump's corruption and his illegality. You can see how tired I am. I've been here all weekend. I've been working throughout the past few weeks to try to prevent this moment.
Did you lift a rock? Like, did you lift anything working all week? Like, what exactly were you working at, Chris Murphy? What were you working at? I see your sleeves are all rolled up. Like, what was the work you did? Did you push a piece of paper across the desk? Did you talk on a phone? Like, what's the work that you've been doing? You're so haggard about. I've been working all week. Working long hours. As you can see, I'm absolutely exhausted.
After the elections on Tuesday, it just became absolutely clear that the American people do not want Democrats to be bullied into submission. They want Democrats to fight for their health care. They want Democrats to fight Trump's illegality. Bullies gain power when righteous people yield in the face of their wrongdoing.
We are righteous! We are righteous! Bullies prevail when righteous people fail to step up, and we are the righteous. That's what Chris Murphy told you. And he then went on to say, people have to feel pain.
And all of my colleagues that this is a unique moment and the necessity to stand and fight, even when it's hard, even when it involves pain.
That's right. Even when it involves
necessary,
pain,
necessary
it's
today
necessary. They must feel the pain. Well, Dick Durbin, he was on the, Senate floor? Here's what he said, very similar.
After lengthy negotiations, an agreement was reached with the Republican Senate leader, John Thune. We will agree to open the government until January 30th, 2026. During that time, we will pass 3 bipartisan appropriation bills that will fully fund SNAP, WIC, and all the veterans programs, and finish our work on the remaining spending bills for this fiscal year.
Yay? Yay, Dick Durbin? By the way, the first time Roland ever heard his name, Roland said, that guy, that's his real name?
The agreement would also reverse the Trump administration's mass firings during the shutdown and prevent future ones through January 30th. We credit Senator Kaine of Virginia for this provision. Leader Thune has also promised the Democrats an opportunity before mid-December to present a Democratic bill on the floor with proposals to change the law and protect American families from dramatic health care premium increases.
Yay! Right, Dick? Yay! Right? Should we be happy? They said we're gonna have a debate. We're gonna figure it out. Come on, yay, Dick!
It is my fervent hope that this ends up being a bipartisan effort. It would be such an achievement of the Senate to finally return to that status.
You mean the bipartisan agreement to implement Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act in the beginning? You mean the one that obviously the Republicans and Democrats, but oh no, it didn't happen. I didn't think so.
I've served in the Senate for 29 years, and I've never seen that kind of offer from a Senate majority. During the historic roll call last night, I walked across the aisle and met with Senator John Thune, the Republican leader. I told him that I was counting on him to keep his word on this agreement. He assured me he would. The fate of this effort depends on both the Senate and the House of Representatives. After a 7-week absence, the Speaker Johnson needs to call his members back and join us in the hard work that lies ahead.
What hard work that lies ahead? Chris Murphy just told us he was already working hard. What do you mean hard work that lies ahead? Weren't you working hard all this entire time? Chris Murphy said he was working already. He rolled up his sleeves. I seen him.
Many of my friends are unhappy. They think we should have kept our government closed indefinitely to protest the policies of the Trump administration. I share their opinions of this administration, but cannot accept a strategy which wages political battle at the expense of my neighbor's paycheck or the food for his children.
That's right. At the expense of my neighbor's paycheck or food for his children. He gave up the goods. That's what the whole thing was. They were going to starve him out. They were going to starve him out and hold him out till Trump gave in. Good job there, Dick. I appreciate you. But you know what? We got it all back in order, you know? Hey, celebration. Should have a celebration. That's all I'm saying. What's going on, Fulton? How are you, sir?
What's up, buddy? What pain does Chris Murphy feel? Like, he didn't give up. Besides like Invisalign, I don't know if that hurts. Does Invisalign hurt when it moves your teeth? I don't know. But I heard that and had to get on that. But I really want to thank everybody, all the veterans, every service, Coast Guard, police, firemen.
Thank you, sir.
Teachers, everybody on today for the hard work you guys do. You keep America going, and that's all I got to say. I want to thank your wife. You know, she's 100%, retired. And,
yeah.
I thank her family. Like, people don't realize that families go through the worst.
Yeah.
And like your son doesn't see you for a year and a half. It's brutal to people. So just realize that. And I want to bring up a number, and it's a real number now. It's 18. It's not 22. It's 18 people, 18 veterans a day kill themselves.
Wow.
So if you know a veteran and he lives alone and maybe he's struggling, I don't know, give him a ring, check in on him, because my police partners are murder-suicide. So
wow,
it touches everybody, for real. Like, you check in and just, probably maybe save a life.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, Fulton. I appreciate you.
Thanks for taking my call today, buddy.
My pleasure, man.
Talk to you later.
You got it. George is calling all the way from St. Louis. What's going on there, sir?
Hi, Reese. I want to talk about the dumbing down of America. When they voted for Mondani, he had no authority at all to lower the bus fares or free bus fares, or had no authority for low income housing,
right?
Nor no authority for the federalized grocery stores. None of that.
Right.
And yet they voted for him. They voted a communist in there, and they didn't even examine what communist. The real dumbing down is people didn't examine what communism was all about.
What do you think? What do you make of Kathy Hochul saying, in essence, after the election, that some of the things that Mamdani is talking about is a pipe dream? Do you think she eventually caves because she's got to run for re-election anyway, and she may need the very voters who elected him?
I wouldn't even call it a pipe dream. It's an empire. It's Christmas.
Of course,
it's a giveaway. It's Santa Claus, which does not exist. I hope kids didn't hear that. And they think they're going to get something for nothing. So the same thing happened with Obamacare. Let's talk about.
Yeah, I was talking about it earlier.
Yeah. But by the way, it's the medical insurance executives that get all the money.
That's all it did.
They're the ones. It's the federal government paying for the insurance executives, which finance the Democrat Party. So you had this system going. I would call it like a Ponzi scheme.
That's exactly what I called it.
And it's 90. You're paying 96% more now than you were when it first started. So
That's right.
that guarantees it's a Ponzi scheme right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Trump wants to give the money directly to the people,
right?
Not to the insurance executives, and not directly to the Democrat Party. So you have all of these Ponzi schemes that the Democrats have set up through the ages that Trump has been knocking down over the last several months.
Mm-hmm.
You call it drugs. Drugs, gambling. Remember the gambling problem? He's knocking down all of the revenue raising schemes that the Democrats have instituted for years.
Did you hear what they were doing? Like back in 2017, Trump cut what's called the Navigator program by 80%. And what that was, it was nothing more than outreach and like commercials for the Affordable Care Act. They were spending $62 million on that, on the Affordable Care Act, which in essence, almost every person in the country knew intimately what it was.
Yeah, what actually happens is very little money filters to the recipients. Very little money it goes for health care. Most of it goes for the insurance and insurance executives. That's the scheme.
Indeed.
Now that's what we got to knock down. That we have to recognize the Democrat Party as the rackets. They are the racket. They're the Godfather. Okay, so we gotta knock them out of the box forever.
Yeah, there should be no coming back for the Democrat Party. I know these people keep telling us over, like, "Will the Democrat Party ever find its footing?" If we're lucky, no. If we're lucky, never. Indeed. Thank you, George. I appreciate you, sir. Happy Veterans Day to you, sir. Ned says 15 plus family members served. Ted, Theodore, my father-in-law, founding member, Vietnam War, along with Walter, first bike out on Rolling Thunder. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. Ned, thank you and your family, sir, because you all in some way play a role in serving for the rest of us. We really do appreciate that. Salvador says, I prefer Richard Head. Oh, Richard Head. I got that. Just got it. Donald says, all of this is Joe's fault. No, it is not Joe's fault. It is Obama's fault. Because he was the one who said that he could fundamentally change the United States. Those are his words, not mine. We will fundamentally change the United States. And he set out to do it. And if we're lucky, we will help him fail. I remember when Rush said it. I have 4 words for you. I hope he fails. And I do. And like I said, I hope his presidency is just a footnote in our history. And I hope that upsets you too. I hope that upsets you as well. I don't know if I told that story before, but it was me who said, I'm so happy the experiment is over. That cut like a knife. A lot of people didn't like that. Let's take a break. Let's get another check of weather and traffic.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app. Search WTIC News Talk 1080 and tap earlier today to get started.
Anyway, what had happened was today we celebrated Veterans Day. And we told everybody, if you could, give us a call. Let us know that you were celebrating Veterans Day. If you were a veteran, if you wanted to send a shout-out to family members, people that you love, people who have served, people who have now gone, who have died in combat, whatever the case may be, you give us a call at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842, and share it with us here. Or you can go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Join us on Facebook or on X. And you can also send your message there. And, of course, I'll read it on the air. And a couple of people have done that today. And a lot of people are out of work today, so we don't have the regular work crowd out on the street or, you know, on the roads. So it seems kind of quiet, like we're all, you know, we all came to school while everybody else took the day off. And if they're not in the car, they're not listening. Can I, if I could, I can't really talk about this, but I kind of want to acknowledge it because let's just call it inside baseball. And I won't say anything about that because people will get mad if I do. So, but I want to say, one, I want to send a shout out to my wife. Secondly, I want to send a shout out to you women in the audience, ladies in the audience who have taken a liking to not just this show, but in particular to my wife, Roseanne. I want to give you a round of applause. Without going too deep into it, I just want to say that Roseanne was brought onto the program, one, because many moons ago, before I was officially the host of this show, I had asked the question, why is it women do not listen to talk radio? And I kind of knew why. I did. I always kind of understood why. And this is kind of like, with the exception of a couple of women out there who do it, this is a very male-dominated space. And I kind of feel like women have been excluded from it. And that kind of bugged me. It did, because I talk politics with women all the time. And there are a lot of conservative women out there. And I didn't like the fact that they were being good. So I just brought Roseanne in because I love having conversations with her. And I thought you would too. And it turns out you do. And I knew it was a smart move because I love communicating with her. Unless she's, telling me what to do and, things like that. But other than that, I love having her on here. And I love sharing my marriage in a weird way with you guys and talking about the things that we talk about on a daily basis. So I appreciate you guys accepting her into your homes and on your radio. Okay? So that's sort of my acknowledgement to you. Let's get another check of traffic and weather, and then we'll wrap this puppy up. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
And thank you, Matt, for that. I know a lot of you guys love Roseanne. She's a pistol in a lot of ways. On tomorrow's show, let me give you a heads up. So I've got some incredible stories that I want to get into. A couple of them, they're not national stories, but they're just stories that we're discussing. I don't know if anyone has been hipping you to the investigation into the pipe bombs at the RNC and the DNC on January 6th. There appears to be an investigation that is narrowing down the suspect there. I watched that video years ago, and I remember saying to my wife, that looks like a woman. It appears, according to reports, it may very well be a woman who planted that those pipe bombs. Who she is and where she is now is an interesting tale. We'll get to the bottom of that. You may have also heard that the FBI and the Department of Justice have produced Congress with a new cache of documents showing how Bill and Hillary Clinton's foundation, the Clinton Foundation, collected donations from foreign and domestic interests seeking influence. You don't say. You don't say. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but people keep saying it's like, oh, this is retribution. No, it isn't. No. Just so you know, this is not retribution. This is cleaning. That's what this is. This is cleaning up the dirt, the muck, the mire, all of that stuff inside Washington. When you think about that, and my earlier conversation with you was about Donald, right? Donald in the and the way in which he talks about the Trump administration and how angry he was when he believed somebody putting up a social media post suggesting that the administration had removed 2 black men from a World War II memorial. And when he learned about it. But I want you to listen to this. And this is all you need to know about leftists. It's all you need to know about Democrats. He says, when I told him, you've been busted, admit it. He wrote, I will admit it. I thought it was in America. However, the fact still remains that white Americans were part of that memorial. He goes on to go on to why remove them. It wasn't us. It was a Biden administration lackey. It was a guy appointed by Biden who removed the black men, who actually scheduled the removal of the black men from the memorial. So I simply asked him the question. When you thought it was Donald Trump, you said to me, this is what you as a black man support. Your ancestors gave their lives for this country, and this is what this administration does. You need to have your head examined. So now I say to you, Donald, don't you need to have your head examined? This was your boy. This was your boy and your boy's appointee showing clear racism. You described it. You set the stage. That's what it is he did, right? And you still support him. So who should have their head examined? No. Did he admit that? No. He says this. At this point, the only thing I'm concerned about is will there be a free and fair election? No, sir, that wasn't what you were concerned about. You were concerned about 2 black men that were removed from a World War II memorial. Both men are dead now. And you were screaming and hollering for their families who thought they had been slighted. And it turns out that your boy slighted him, and you decided that you were going to play the shell game with me at full 3-card Monte. Don't look over here. I've been embarrassed. No. You haven't been. It's not retribution. It's cleanup on aisle 3. That's what it is. And this administration and this Department of Justice is going to get every one of your folks for old and new, as my mom used to say back in the day. We're going to get you for old and new. If you use Washington to line your pockets, your number's up. If you use the Department of Justice to go after your political enemies, your number's up. If you went after the American people for who they chose during an election, what they support, for using words like patriotism, for fighting against taxation or being overtaxed, or the government overreaching on their personal lives, and you played a role in silencing those people or attacking those people, yeah, man, your number is up. And I said this on WBEN earlier today, just so you know. Nobody cares. By the way, if you are any of those people who are like me, who can't wait for that retribution, let them call it retribution. Accept it. Embrace the retribution. Applaud it even. Join me. Join me. Yay. Do not falter. They make no... I want you to think about this before we get out of here on Veterans Day. I want you to think about this. Did they blink an eye when they ended people's career because they wouldn't acknowledge that a man was calling himself a woman? Huh? If you said the wrong thing on a television show, if you said the wrong thing in public or on social media and they went after you and they destroyed your life, Shane Gillis, it just popped in my head. Shane Gillis, the comedian, who's very successful now, could have been on Saturday Night Live, where his career probably would have ended anyway. But he was stopped from becoming a cast member. They wanted him badly because they knew he was funny. They wanted him to be on Saturday Night Live, but he told some Asian jokes back in the day, and they canceled him. Made him lose his job, but he ended up having a very successful career. He's one of the most successful comedians today, and when he's invited back to host Saturday Night Live, of all things, became so big they had to invite him to host the show. These people didn't. They felt no shame. They destroyed people's lives. They attacked people. They did everything they could to destroy them. Did they care? When you told them that this was going to come back to them, haunt them, what did they say? Yeah, like you'll ever get that chance. Well, guess what? We got that chance. And now we're going to take full advantage of it. But you know what? Like Chris Murphy said about righteous people, we know who the true righteous are. We're going to do it the right way. If they committed a crime, go to prison. If they did something wrong or nefarious and it's found out, they should pay for it. And if the news media wants to call it a revenge tour, so what? Yep, it's revenge. And remember what the premise is. There would be no revenge if we didn't have anything to avenge. Right? There has to be an action in order for there to be a reaction. And that's what revenge is, right? It's an action against a slight that has already been committed. So when somebody says, hey, are you going on a revenge tour? I want you to grab your fist like one of those 5 o'clock karate films we used to watch on Saturday afternoon and says, you killed my father. I will have my revenge. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're going to do. And have no shame. That's what we do. That's what patriots do. We did it at Pearl Harbor. We did it on 9/11. You slap us, we kill you. That's just the way it's always gone. You take ours, we take yours. That's what revenge is all about. You don't think you were going to do all of that stuff to us? I mean, think about the unthinkable things that they did. And now they want to sit up there and actually make us feel bad about revenge? Some people call it a revenge tour. Yeah, tell those people they're right. Tell those people, yeah, that's exactly right. You know what? And we're a little late. To be honest with you, we need to be moving faster. So I hope they get the Clintons. Come on. Even some of you want them to get the Clintons. Come on. Seriously. Hillary even? Come on. Tell the truth. You know you do. I know you do. I've got a lot of old and new with Hillary Clinton. A lot of it. Got some old and new with Bill, too. I've since forgiven Bill for that one. That was back in my 20 years ago, right here in Hartford. Threatened my job. Yeah, his office. Yeah, I'll never forget that. It actually made me feel important. I was like, what? The president? Former president? Really? He's going after me? Really? You don't say. I'm over here in a hip-hop station. I was like, really? Me? Loved every minute of it. So, yeah, revenge, all for it. I'm down for that. I'm here for that. I've signed up. First row tickets. Even bought a brochure, T-shirts, and I'm positive we're getting popcorn. And maybe a slushie. But I'm going front row on the whole thing, and I want it every day I read about it. Every day I see another indictment come down. Every day I see another subpoena. I am applauding it, and you should too. And when the rest of them say, you're just waiting for Donald Trump to get his revenge, and you say, yes. Do what they do. This is my favorite one. When they say, you're just applauding Donald Trump's revenge tour. Throw back into what they always say back in the gay community. Yes, queen, yes. They love that. Yes, queen. Yes. We're getting our revenge on. I love every bit of it. Ned says an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Payback is a B. You damn right. Not revenge, Stephen V. Stephen V says not revenge, but justice. But a little bit of revenge. Just a little bit of revenge. It could be justice. We can have both. Isn't it justice when Jet Li comes back after they kill his brother? You know? What the? When he comes back? Come on. It's a little bit of justice. That's what it says in the Western. Jet Li, they killed his brother. Now he's coming back for justice. Yeah, that's all we're doing. We're coming back for justice. Yes. Don't forget some of your callers who are giving you a hard time and likely been made to do so by Progressive, hoping to get you fired. Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right. I want all of that paid back. All of it, as it should. That's the way it should go. I love every bit of it. So we'll have more details on the Hillary Clinton thing when we get a chance to tomorrow. We'll be back in full swing. We'll have everything from headlines. We didn't do, whatever. There's some things that we could have done, but we didn't do it. Anyway, we'll get back to that tomorrow. I'll miss you guys. Have a wonderful Veterans Day. Please go visit some folks, if you can, veterans who either need our help or would love our company. Please go do that. Absolutely. Donald says it's a never-ending cycle. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to wrap it up. I think I'm going to be in Hartford tonight, but I couldn't get the wife on the phone. I'm going to ask her if she wants to go to a meeting with me in Hartford. I'm thinking about going to one out there. I haven't been to one in Hartford as of yet. It'd be nice to go to one. It's in a nice church, too. Church is really, really pretty. I think she'll love that. You guys do very, very well tonight. Is there anything else? We got games going on for Veterans Day tonight, right? We got some basketball games I just heard about. I think John Silva was talking about that. Got some what's called local action, but I guess it's Boston Celtics. We got that game going on. You betting on anything reasonable tonight? Nothing? You're just chilling? You got nothing? No. It's horrible to follow the NBA during the regular season in the early stages. Like, I can honestly say the first 30 games are of no consequence.
Yeah, and they try to do the little end games tournament.
Yes, that's right.
To make it interesting, and it does make it interesting because it makes them play hard early.
Right. So and it's called, it's not interleague play. That's baseball.
In-season tournament.
In-season tournament. And what do you win? Like a little trophy for that? What do you get, a ribbon?
No, I think everybody gets $200K.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, the winning team, all the players get $200K.
Wow, they had that kind of money to throw around?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Well, these guys making $200 million, so.
200,000. So you know what? Now the gambling stuff makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it makes sense. That's weird. Anyway, all right, it's time for me to get up out of here. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You celebrate Veterans Day with all of your family, and if you are a veteran, we celebrate you and thank you for your service. Let's get to Mark Christopher as we get out of here to BPS Drive. Good night, sir. Mark? I hope his mic isn't hot. I think he's there. All right, we're out of here. Bye-bye, guys.